The confidence in Mark Carney's budget is so low that even CTV can't defend it. And we all know how the mainstream media loves to defend the Liberal Party every step of the way.
Given the hype that we saw going into the budget, are we best to temper our expectations around this next round of major projects? Because we all remember that Danielle Smith said she wants to see a pipeline on that list.
Yeah, they've been hyping up this major projects announcement for so long, for such a long time, really since the spring, that I really expected actually Mark Carney and his cabinet to kind of do the halftime show at the Grey Cup this Sunday. And apparently that's not happening. It's actually going to be Machine Gun Kelly, a rapper. So I was disappointed by that they've moved the major projects announcement to this Thursday.
Welcome to the 2000s call. They want their halftime show back, I think.
Oh, that's right. I mean, I'd take Shania Twain again. I mean, who wouldn't? I mean, that's who I want to do the halftime show. But listen, Thursday's going to be a high visibility moment, right? It's a high stakes moment for Carney, as is the budget and the budget selling and the budget vote next week that you point to. And that's why you see Minister Champagne and other ministers crossing the country right now trying to engage labor, industry, business, communities to sell the budget. And they have to, because frankly, they don't have the votes. And they right now don't necessarily have Canadians' confidence that this budget is really going to deliver for them. And that's the test that Carney is going to face, because he's going to be announcing these huge major projects. And there's high expectations, both from the budget language and from the project language, that it's going to deliver real results for communities and for industrial sectors. And there's a chance that might fail. And then because we are in a big football weekend, roll out all of the football analogies. Like, is he fumbling the ball? Has he, failed to get the kick through the gate? Like, all of these announcements, really have to deliver. And it's a high stakes moment for not just Carney, but for his cabinet and for the major projects office itself.
You want to talk about missing a kick through the uprights? It's more like he kicked the ball directly into the other team's hands and stood back and watched them run it directly into their end zone. I don't think any football analogy could describe the terrible job that Mark Carney is currently doing. And for those of you who forgot, Mark Carney did claim he was the one to negotiate a solid deal with Donald Trump. And here we are nearly 8 months later.
All of these announcements, really have to deliver. And it's a high stakes moment for not just Carney, but for his cabinet and for the major projects office itself.
And Shakir, instead of quoting football, I'm going to go back to the Shania Twain analogy to this all. Stick with me on this, everyone. How much of a risk does the Carney government have that everybody quotes Shania Twain and says, that don't impress me much?
Ooh.
Fair enough. I think the Carney government...
Hold on. I'm getting a call. I think they're going to bring Vashi back tomorrow. Okay. Yeah. Sorry. Yeah, I'm done for the day. Go ahead, Shakir.
No, I think the Carney government generally, I feel like since they got elected, their whole thing has been asking Canadians for, a bit more time, a bit more patience for things to get done. And I think this is no different. I mean, whether it's the Trump negotiations that blew past the deadline, but even in the budget, we see things like, infrastructure spending, and they want the private sector to partner with them. That might be the right choice to the right policy decision, but that takes time to kind of unroll. Weaning ourselves off U.S. independent, which is a central theme to the budget and really to this Carney government, generally speaking, that's going to take years, if not decades, to kind of roll out. And I think even, you showed that chart. For most Canadians, affordability is a top one, top two issue and continues to be. And I didn't really see much in the budget on that either. And so if it's a matter of the economy that's improving, that takes a lot of time. And so I think for Mark Carney, the vulnerability here that I see is that people just run out of patience. They want things done in the year and in 2 years, and the things that he's choosing to do, and again, they might actually be the right policy choices, but the things that he's choosing to do take a lot of time. I'm not sure Mark Carney has that kind of a runway to produce those results, and I think he needs to be cautious of that and move a little bit quicker. And even with the major projects, maybe even head on, take on some politically sensitive projects, right? If you look at the first batch that was rolled out, if I'm reading it correctly, a lot of these things were either close to getting shovels in the ground anyways, so we wouldn't have to take much consequence from the federal government. I think moving forward, whether it is a pipeline or whatever it is, he needs to be able to, butt heads with stakeholders from environmental groups to indigenous groups, even premiers, and say, you know what, we have a high level of ambition and we want to drive these projects forward.
Mark Carney claimed that pipelines were boring. So honestly, no, I don't expect one to be on this next major projects list. The number one thing Danielle Smith in Alberta has been hammering home for, Carney just flat out claimed it was boring. My God, Alberta separation can't come any sooner, can it? The confidence in this party, I'm surprised there was any to begin with, but it is going to dwindle more and more as the time goes on. This party did nothing over the past 10 years but spend money and get into scandal after scandal, and now they're claiming they need even more time to actually begin any sort of progress. How much more time do you need? Countries like the US and Germany are getting things done within literal months, and we are still debating which projects belong on this list. There needs to be a serious overhaul of the system if we are waiting this long just for discussions to happen. And even if the discussion is happening, nothing has come from it yet. Anyway, I digress, and I would like to know what you think down in the comment section below. Hit that like button and hit that sub button if you are new, and thank you for watching.